Reality of the Man in Black incident revealed. In 2008, a video of a man in black working on a case spread like wildfire on the internet. The cause was, this hotel reported a UFO sighting. Then two men in black came to the hotel. The manager claimed that they looked exactly alike, and neither had eyebrows or eyelashes. Their eyes were blue. They were uncomfortable when they looked at each other for a long time. He asked them a lot of strange questions. In the end, he realized they didn't see anything. They left in a hurry. Shortly after the incident, a 73-year-old man named Tom Gittin approached the media, said he had a top-secret document that proved that the man in black was real. He had been guarding the secret for years because of his deteriorating health, so he decided to publicize this top-secret material. The following is the full content of Tom's exposure. Tom is a professor at Pace University. He fought in the war when he was young. He's a veteran. Tom said that after he retired, he met his current best friend, Joe, at a nursing home. Neither he nor Joe ever married or had children. They had similar personalities. They had similar interests. They quickly became like brothers, but it didn't last long. Joe was diagnosed with terminal brain cancer. He could lose consciousness one day. Tom said that one day shortly after the diagnosis, Joe suddenly called him into his room and handed him a sealed file and a copy of his memoirs, and told him a shocking secret, that he was once the Man in Black. At first, Tom thought Joe was hallucinating. He thought he was hallucinating. He didn't pay much attention to it, until that night, when he read all the materials. He realized that what Joe was saying could be true. While he was reading them, he was so nervous that he checked the doors and windows several times, because what was in there could have gotten him killed. Because, the day after Bridge gave this information to Tom, he died. The doctor said that Bridge died of brain cancer, but judging from the traces of rummaging in the house, there's more to it than meets the eye. Here's a portion of Bridge's memoirs. Joe said he worked for the government from May 1970 to October 1997. From May 1970 to October 1997, Joe said he worked for the government's top-secret agency, commonly known as the Men in Black. He said that the comics and the movie version of the Men in Black were created with the secret support of the government. The reason for this is to cover up and confuse the public. To create a sense of truth and falsehood. Before joining the Men in Black, he was a counterintelligence agent under Richard Schlesinger. In 1970, he was recruited by William Latham, the top leader of the Men in Black program. Shortly after joining, they gave him a new identity. Then came 9 months of rehabilitation. During this time, they were subjected to prolonged dosages and injections of various drugs to achieve a complete assault on their bodies and minds, so that they can kill with ease. Afterwards, they can forget about them in peace. They have no sense of right and wrong, no sense of morality, no fluctuating emotions. After the transformation, he officially became an agent of the Men in Black. It was only then that he realized, not all Men in Black are human. 1/23 of them are alien hybrids. Their specialty is that they don't have white brass. His main task is to deal with sightings of unidentified flying objects, crashes and crash landings. His first mission was in August of 1971. He was in California, north of Edwards Air Force Base. He saw a crashed UFO with his own eyes. There were 3 gray humanoids in the craft. 2 were dead. 1 was alive. There was also a female human abducted from the craft. There are 2 witnesses at the scene that they need to deal with. One has a home nearby, very cooperative. The other has been on the run. The other one's been on the run, and he's been talking. They've been instructed. They were instructed to make him disappear forever. Joe found him a few days later, with a wand that looked like a probe. He went into cardiac arrest. The rest of the team will take over the processing. Joe said that back in 1954, Dwight Olson, Halvaya, signed the Granada Treaty with the Phaeton in exchange for sharing alien technology, in exchange for sharing extraterrestrial technology, to establish their own laboratories and areas of operation, in exchange for a guarantee that the United States would be guaranteed that the United States of America, in highly advanced fields. The Treaty of Granada remains in force to this day, despite opposition from governments around the world. But the United States believes that other countries had similar deals with aliens. But as the number of missing people has increased in the last decade, and the discovery of inhumane experiments, the US government is also considering re-establishing a new deal with the human race. Hidden in their memoirs. In the memoirs, the Skylight program hidden underneath the state of Colorado. This is a completely unexposed, holographic projection technology. It can be used at night or during the day, at a height of nearly 1,000 meters. Produces a projection exactly like the real thing. It's used in war to lure and mislead the enemy. In March of 1997, the Phoenix, Arizona, UFO incident was an experiment in the Skylight program. Nearly 10,000 people witnessed it, but not a single person doubted his authenticity. And yet, it seems that Joe had gotten used to all this. What finally drove him to come forward and expose it all was the most inhumane depopulation program of all. Tom said the contents of that dossier In that dossier, Tom said it was shocking. He believed that anyone who took one look at it could be killed if they looked at it. That's why Tom put him in a very safe place. Tom asked the reporter if he was sure he wanted to see him. If you have the courage to expose him, I can take you there. The reporter hesitated for a while. After printing down the superior report, they took a long drive. They drove a long way to the place where Tom was hiding the material. Inside the house, Tom told the reporter. On his way in, he spotted a car that had been following him for the past few days. Tom said if someone comes in later, you sneak up to the second floor first. No matter what happens, don't make a sound. Film everything. Then take the video and materials. Expose all this to the public. That material is in the wall of the bedroom on the second floor. That's all I'm saying. There was a sudden knock at the door. The reporter quietly came upstairs. A woman came in, said a few words. She shot Tom dead, followed by the FBI and a janitor in a black suit. The FBI and a janitor in a black suit also came to the house. The reporter, who was hiding on the second floor, was scared out of his wits. He circled the building carefully, but he couldn't find an exit. However, just at this moment, the man in black has come upstairs. He seemed to be looking for something in the wall. The reporter was so scared that he couldn't even breathe. After being examined for a while, suddenly turned around. He said coldly, "Come out, don't hide." Then he walked slowly towards him with a strong flashlight, reached out and took away the reporter's camera. Just when he turned off the camera accidentally captured the face of the man in black. On a pale face, two black eyes were like a black hole, devouring everything around him. This is the end of the video. The 3 videos I've introduced to you today. The first and the last one are very early, pseudo-documentaries from the past, but they're all based on events. They are all based on events. The second video so far, there is no reasonable explanation on the internet. They all have their own opinions, but we can be sure, this is not a case of hype to gain traffic. If it's a fake, what is the purpose of going to all this trouble? What's the purpose? If it's real, then what is this little guy? Is it human or something else? What do you think? You're welcome to discuss it in the comments section. But let's be honest, blurred like this, I'll believe you if you say he's a gourd girl. That's all for today's video. Finally, I urge you to like and follow us.